Hey, good morning. It's Jessica, and I am working on the cat. Let me see if I can uh, turn this off, let y'all see it momentarily. See, I'm working on the cat. Um, Now I gotta turn the lights on so I can work on the cat. Uh, I thought I'm doing this quick whipping chat, I guess. Uh, and there's a lady named that goes by Diamonds by Tita, and she always has squirrely thoughts. And so I've got to come up with a name for my crazy thoughts. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna call them. Um, Jessica thoughts, I guess, maybe. Poodle thoughts, because that's our mascot for my sorority. Nonetheless, I get crazy thoughts all the time, and I always have, and I guess maybe I always will. But I was just watching an episode of The Outsiders TV show that ran very briefly after The Outsiders movie came out back in the 80s. Of which I am a big fan because The Outsiders, the novel by S.E. Hinton, is and was my favorite book of all times. I've read and reread, listened and re-listened to that book so many times. It is on my phone. In fact, I listened to it last night when I was going to sleep. Every night I put on headphones and I listen to something, whether it is music. See, it's rarely music. It's usually the Bible, something motivational, or the outsider's book being read to me. Um, Music tends to keep me awake as opposed to helping me to sleep. Hearing a story of some sort, whether it's God's story or somebody else's, does help me to sleep. But anyway, while I was watching this episode of The Outsiders, my random Jessica thought was that always trying to one up each other. Now, that thought didn't necessarily have anything to do with the episode that I was watching, because the episode that I was watching was about this girl who found herself expecting, and she had had a sexual interlude with Soda Pop, who is the middle brother in the Curtis brother trio. Um, and then at one point, he found out as that it was could have possibly been some other rich boy's baby. And while he was trying to pawn his deceased mother's wedding ring to help her come up with the money for a way to uh, get rid of, have an abortion, basically. I don't know if there's a PC way to say that on TikTok or YouTube, but basically that's what she thought she was too young to have a baby, and that's what she wanted to do. So she said. Mhm. But you know, it just for some reason it just got me thinking that in my real life, uh, everybody's always trying to one up somebody. If you know, and I used to know somebody that Every time I would talk to this person, if my back hurt, her back hurt worse. If I had a problem, she had the same problem, but hers was 10 times worse. Mm. You know, and you really that's really a bad place to be where you feel so insecure with whomever you are and with whatever is going on in your life that you feel the need to have to be the center of attention with everything. That if somebody is going through something, you can't be there for that person because you're too busy making sure that everybody is there for you. But here's the thing, if you can't be there for someone else when they're going through something, why should someone be there for you when you're going through something? Because turnaround is fair play. To thine own self be true. Treat others the way that you want to be treated are all just slogans and things you should see on a bumper sticker, but they are life lessons that you should make a part of your life. You know, things to live by, you know, things to teach your children and teach them by example. I can't teach my kids to be truthful people if they see me always lying to other folks. Don't tell me a lie, but then they know for a fact that I'm lying to everybody that I come in contact with. You know, like my parents taught me. Now, this is no shade to my parents, but my parents taught me to be truthful, except for when the phone rang for my father and he told me, I tell him I'm not home. Now, if I had said, my daddy said that he's not home right now, that would have been whooping number 517. Okay. But the man did tell me to tell them folks that he wasn't at home. Of course, that was the days before the caller ID, the cell phone, the text message, all of those things that we have now for modern technologies that can let us know if it's somebody on the other end of the phone that we want to talk to or not. But teaching your 6-year old to lie to grown ass adults, yet I would get a whooping if I lied to them. There's something wrong with that. I think. Um, Thankfully, I never put my children in that kind of predicament. Lie to the strangers, but tell your mama the truth all the time. But the bigger point, what I'm trying to say is, don't be a one-upper because it just makes you look bad. That every time, and I hate to say it, but I'm married to a one-upper. Um, Time I try to tell my husband something about a childhood memory. A childhood memory. Now, I met him when I was in my mid 50s. He was in his late 70s when I met him. So there's nothing about my childhood that he experienced with me. It wasn't like, with my parents, they met each other at 9 years old in fourth grade and grew up together. Me and my husband did not grow up together. There's no way that even if we lived in the same neighborhood, we couldn't have grown up together because I'm the same age as his son. So, if anything, I would have grown up with my stepson, not with his daddy. Okay? Which would have been really weird if we ended up dating and marrying. Who did you marry? My best friend's daddy. Yeah, that would have been weird. But anyway, so I'll be telling my husband about a life experience that he had no way of knowing about. And then he will immediately turn it around to some life experience that he had. I hate that. I hate that with a passion because that to me that tells me you can't stand the story not being about you. You can't stand the story not being about you so much that you got to turn it around to be about you, even when it don't have nothing to do with you. And that is not a good thing. You know, we need to be listeners of the story as well as tellers of our own story. Because sometimes you can learn from listening to the experiences of others, just like we can learn from the experiences that we've had ourselves. Something that I'm saying is making sense to somebody who might be listening. Because I try to share the weird little Jessica thoughts that go through Jessica's brain uh, with you in hopes that something somewhere resonates with you and it hopes to make you us all better people in the end than we were in the beginning. Because that's what we're supposed to be doing um, as we take rent on this planet. Because we don't own anything. Um, and the reason I say that is because when we die, you can't take it with you. And we take rent on this planet. We're supposed to leave it and the people around us better than we found them. And if you can't do that, if you're leaving the world in a worse predicament than it was when you found it, then what positive thing are you doing with your life? And why are you messing up everybody else's? You know, me and my best friend, one of my best friends, may she rest in peace. Uh, we used to say, you can't be a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. You know, and one thing I can't stand is someone that is not going to be part of the solution, but they're going to be so super critical when they see what you've done and whatever you're doing. And that that kind of irks me because, well, you can certainly point out my faults, but you can't help me make it better. You can just point out what I didn't do. Um, Another, rambling thought. That's what I'll call it. Jessica's rambling thoughts. Because as my ADHD works, and she be working, as I do my mindless tasks, um, these different thoughts come to mind. Now, I did get a lot. I didn't finish. Obviously, I didn't finish the cat last night, but I did do a lot. And before I went to bed, I did most of the yellow, which is where the whiskers are. And man, this cat had whiskers all over the damn place. And I did all of the blue yesterday first. And then I did all of the gold. And then when I started getting tired of doing the gold, I decided to do some of the bigger accent special drills, which I put most of all of those in. I'm seeing this morning I forgot one up here. So I'm gonna go and take care of that one right now while I'm looking at it. And most of everything else, different colors in different places, but they're not like the major colors. And I'm working on a time limit. Plus, I got a lunch date with my friend Gloria. So I got a lot of stuff going on today. And I'm supposed to be delivering this at Bible study tonight to my first customer. Excited, but I keep dropping. This is not. I need to more petty. This is damn crazy. Okay, there. See, it keeps dropping on me. And I don't know where it keeps dropping on me, too. Dang it. It was not as easy as it should have been. And in fact, that washi tape I found, or at least the one that I was using, it was not sticking very well. So I found some purple duct tape, and purple because I like purple duct tape that I got at the dollar store, which is working very well, actually. Um, uh, that's what I'm gonna start using instead, and it costs $1.25 for a roll like this, uh, as opposed to all that cutesy patootsy stuff. Oh gosh, I just uncovered a whole bunch of these that I need to take care of. So we're looking to these over here. This is where I put in the ones I'm finished working with. And this had 10 colors, and I'm finished with 6 of them. I have 3 that I haven't started with, and this one that I'm trying to finish with. So I think I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish this before I have to put on my makeup. All I have to do to get ready for lunch is do some makeup. I'm already dressed. This is what I'm wearing. Because I try not to have to get dressed 2 or 3 times a day if I'm doing more than one thing in the day. So, unless I'm doing things that are totally different. Like if I'm going out to lunch and then I'm going to like a sorority event where I have to wear a dress. I probably will not be wearing the sorority event, dress to my little lunch thing. Mm, that type of deal. Mm. Anyway, that's pretty much it for now. I'm working on the cats. It makes me think of that song. Why must I chase the cat? 'Cause it's the dog in me. Woof, 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 woof. Oh, and check out my earrings. I got little turtles, and the legs and tail move, actually. Them on a cruise. And don't be a one-upper. Allow the other person to have the spotlight. Share. Don't. And this is something that I tend to overtake the conversation. That is one of my issues, and I am trying to work on it. When I call people, and if I have something that I want to tell them, I have to remember, and tell me about your day and what is going on with you. So to try to remember that everything is not about Jessica, you know, that Susie Q needs to tell me about what is going on in Susie Q's life. Like, I'm going out with my new friend Gloria. I don't know if she would want to be my friend if all I did is say, Gloria, this is what's going on with Jessica, and this is what's going on with me. Me. And if I'm not ever asking her, and how are you doing? And what's going on in your world? And, getting to know her. Um, I'm getting to know, like, I learned when she came over the other day to help me with my website, which I so appreciate. In fact, I think I'm gonna treat her to lunch as a thank you because everyone wants to be appreciated for things that they do. And, I found out that she likes to fish. I do not like to fish. Um, my husband, however, does like to fish. That's one of the reasons that we got the house here that we got is because there's a pond right behind our house. So he can go right out to the pond and fish. There is not a pond right behind her house, even though she lives on the same block with me. Um, but I believe that our pond is the nearest one to her. So, and she and her husband both like to fish. So perhaps maybe they'll come over to go fishing with Steve and I can watch. I can do diamond painting while they're fishing. That is fine with me, you know? They could be fishing I could be diamond painting. Everybody's doing what everybody's doing. You know, they're doing their pastime. I'm doing my pastime. I'm so okay with that. I can set up my little camp in the lanai where I can look out my big lanai windows and watch them diamond paint. Damn. Watch them fish while I diamond paint. Hell, I could even be working on a sea scene, a seascape, while they, fishing. That would not bother me at all. Oh my goodness. I think I'm almost finished with all of the whiskers. Yay! Now see, that is an accomplishment. Because let me tell you, this cat had whiskers out the yin and the yang. Yes, it did. Out both of them. The yin and the yang. And hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I think all the O's are gone. And O was the character for all the whiskeyers. Woody who? Hoodie and who? Yes, I did it, y'all. Okay, so another one bites the dust. Boom, boom, boom. And another one bites the dust. And another one. And another one. Okay, you don't need to hear all that. All right, so now we're working on A, which looks just like the smaller yellow version, gold, where the O, which I just finished, was a bigger, gold. Let me tell you, this thing was full. It was full. It was full. So let's get started, shall we? Ain't nothing to, ain't nothing to do but to do it. So, sure, I'm looking at the clock. So, let's see what other crazy little thoughts have been going through my crazy little head this morning. Been working on a shipping alternative. I think I'm gonna have to go with one of these companies where I print out my own labels and where I can get a discount for because when I went to the shipping place that I usually send things when I'm just sending them to people individually, before pre-business venture. Second session. Where it didn't really bother me how much it costs. But now that it's post business venture, I'm trying to keep everything down for not only for myself, and when I say everything down, I mean cost down, not only for myself, but for my customers. Because if I'm charging $10 for an item and then I'm charging $10 for shipping and handling, who in the hell wants to pay an equal amount to get it here than you paid for the item? I know that would be a major turnoff for me as a customer. Now, I did see with one of these companies that I started doing some research with. doing like a bulk rate in that from $0 to $69 is one amount, and then anything over X amount of dollars is a different amount. You know, could possibly encourage someone to spend a little more to make it more worth their while to spend that shipping and handling cost. Because I know for myself, like, I buy a lot of things from Temu. Diamond painting, my clothes. I think I got it. No, I think I got this from Amazon. The shirt I have on now. But I think the pants, I might have got them from Temu. And with some of the changes, between us and China and all of that, sometimes when they're coming from a local warehouse, you have to pay a still you know a shipping and handling. So what I try to, if it's under a certain amount, so that would encourage me to try to spend more so that shipping costs, I get more bang for my buck, you know? And then also with Temu, they have something where you can't, under $20, they're not even going, you gotta spend at least $20 for them to be able to complete your order, you know. Um, Now I'm not gonna do that, but I think having the bulk rate from 0 to 69 is one amount. I mean, I can deal with that as a little bit better, than I can $10 small item is going to cost $10 to get it to them. And that just seems ridiculous to me. But if I can state it, shipping is from 0 to $69, it's $8. So no matter what no matter what you buy for 69 up to $69, you're going to be paying $8. Now, if you do 70 or above, it's free shipping and handling. So maybe that might encourage someone to buy, m- you know, multiple pieces or a larger item. Because if they did like a key ring for 10 and say a canvas that's 50, and then they did something else that's another 10, like say a framed greeting card, that's $70. Then they're not going to have shipping and handling, for example. They may just decide $8 for a $10 item. I'm taking a look at that. Okay. I mean, what can I say? That is the buyer's prerogative to purchase or not to purchase. That is the question. Um, but also have my husband is out at a doctor's appointment today, and so he's supposed to stop by the post office. You know, this this is wrong for me to feel this way. but he's very forgetful, and he doesn't. I'm afraid that he's not going to emphasize the things or find out the things that I really need found out. And it's going to be a matter of if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. Now, I don't think that he has any malice intent with his forgetfulness. Like, I'm just not going to do it. No. But I do think that, the way he runs his flea market business and the way I want to run my Jessica's Jeweled Art business, I think it's different. And number one, he's a cash only business. To run a cash only business because when you're dealing with online shopping, you can't be cash only because you gotta get paid some way electronically. And um, just trusting the process is not something I'm really good at. Um, about the results of the process, that's more me concerned. I shouldn't be. He is a good salesperson, I will say that. Um, I just wonder how things are going. I don't know. I guess I'll feel better once if he sells any of my items, you know. Um, I guess that'll be the proof will be in that pudding, let's just say. I guess whenever you're starting out a new venture, there's always some anticipation, some nervousness there, and I definitely have that in droves. Anticipation and nervousness. And, I want to know that I'm doing the right thing and I'm doing the right thing in the right way, and the people are going to receive me in a positive way. And a positive way means uh, liking it so much that they're going to want to pay for whatever I'm trying to sell. Are they going to like it that much? That's what I need to know. How much do you like it? Do you like it enough to put to want to put some money on it so you can take it home? Or are you just like it enough to, ooh, that's pretty, and then keep on stepping? So, although he did say that he gave out my business cards, and I'm thinking that maybe I should order some more of these stands, cat stands like what I'm working on now, and do a couple and have him take some of those as well. Because this did great at the Bible study when I wasn't even trying to sell them. So I'm sure it'll do great at the flea market where I would be trying to sell them. So look forward to maybe some different things coming. Got this little clock thing, calendar. I think will look really interesting. That once I make it, of course, I'm going to be showing everything either on my website or on my YouTube page, my TikTok page. I'll be posting things. I'm gonna start posting things more to my Facebook. I've never posted really anything to Instagram. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm really gonna start flooding. I didn't realize until I started trying to put this website together that I am on 5 different social media platforms in some way, shape, or form. Now, have I been posting on all 5 different social media platforms? No. But do I have access and do I have an account with 5 different social media platforms? Absolutely. On Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, 5. So, and not to mention, if you're local, the Melbourne Flea Market. It's, you know, going to start, once I get more inventory, start hitting things in person, do little pop-up shops. Um, I was getting some marketing ideas from AI, and they were giving me some ideas of things I had never even thought about doing. Like doing some videos, doing some more things on and different things on different social media platforms. So I'm going to start doing all of that. I haven't been, but I certainly will. And there's a way that I can post the videos that I do on YouTube to Pinterest I know I can do it to Facebook, and I've been doing them. But, I'm learning as I go along. If nothing else, it's keeping my mind occupied, and it's a learning process, and I'm learning something new. I like that. I like the learning new skill aspect of everything that I'm trying to do. You know, because it's um, keeping your brain active and busy is what keeps you young and vital and active. And for my mother, she did little brain games on the computer. My dad, you know, read educational things and was busy um, in his entrepreneurship and mentoring. He had a little side business he called CME, See Me, for consulting, management, and education. That's what the CME stood for. And certainly, in a lot of ways, I'm trying to follow in both of their footsteps. Actually, found something that I enjoy doing. So, hopefully, I will work towards um, doing more, and getting myself out there, so more people know about me. And right now, I've got almost 17,000 subscribers on YouTube and 55,000 followers on TikTok, which I think was awesome because between the two, I have almost 70,000 people who are paying attention to me, are listening to me. It's such an accomplishment. You see my little chestnut walking around in here. I'm pretty pleased with that. But anyway, this has been a little bit longer than I had anticipated. And I know I haven't done an unboxing video in a minute. Um, I think I might do one later on today. Once I get finished with this cat, maybe I'll do an unboxing video. But my hand has been so busy, doing this cat and that cardinal, trying to get it ready to give to Miss Carol this evening. It's kind of hard to unbox while you're busy doing a canvas, a non-canvas, such as this is. And we'll definitely take a picture of the after so you can see what she looks like. Now, I did add a few little embellishments on this one as well. On the eyes, I have these um, diamond shaped, uh, large purple rhinestones that fit right in the eye area perfectly. And I thought having these diamond for eyes would look really cool. And I put in one space, I put up large pearl, dark pearl, not pearl, dark purple teardrop rhinestone. And then there was one place where there was a blue circle, but there was no a rhinestone that was supposed to go there, so I put a large blue circle rhinestone there. So I have been did a little something here and there. I did a little something different on the first one. And as I see and the mood hits me that I need to, put something extra or different. That way each one is a little bit more unique than the last one. That uh even though they start with a template, they end up being original works of art because that's what I do. Each one that I do is a one of a kind in some shape or form. The cardinal, I put some red on the breast where it was requiring pink, but I wanted him to be more red. And on one of the birds, um, I put an extra stone to try to make the eye area stand out. You know, I like eyes. I think, eyes are like the window to the soul. I think I heard that somewhere. And, and one thing that I heard from another diamond painter content creator is that when you're doing a painting, the painting is yours. You are the artist. And so it is okay for you to change something, add something, take away if you so desire, because you are the artist. No one told Picasso how to paint his painting because he was the artist. And even though you start with a template, you end up with something that's a one of a kind. And remember that. You are the creator. So anyway, it's almost been 50 minutes. I want to thank you for listening in. Um, and if you're still here and you've been listening, put an ear emoji or something that shows that you've been listening in the comments. Subscribe if you care to. Like if you like it, and hit the notification button so that you'll always be notified when I'm premiering a new video, so you can stay in the know. Check out my other videos on diamond painting, and I will see you next time. But always remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, pay it forward if you can. You know why, because paying it forward is great. See you later. Ta-ta for now.